What's up, everybody? We're back with another episode. As many of you may know, I'm Marcus, and with me, as always, Mr. Fallen Hour himself, Cedal Enoch. And our guest tonight is Wheezy from After Horizons, and our little sister, Dolores Marie, a.k.a. D-Lo. Dolores
Sure,
Barr.
little sister. She 5 inches taller than me.
Fine, sister. And you're listening to Fallen Hour Radio.
That was pretty good.
Cue intro.
Cue intro.
Say Fallen Hour.
We are back on, and we are back to doing once a week podcast. And our thing now is to start looking into more contemporary things. And sleep paralysis, I know, is kind of a little bit older, but with like TikTok and Instagram and things like that, and it's starting to come back. People are telling their stories, and that is our topic tonight: is sleep paralysis.
Yeah, we've been asked to do that before. We just kind of put it on the back shelf.
Yeah.
Until Dolores mentioned it the other day.
Have you any of you guys had anything like that happen to you? Sleep paralysis?
Yeah.
I've had that feeling where
They're
like
gross.
you're in bed and you feel like you're fucking falling. I've had that.
Yeah.
I think that's
Not
something
paralysis.
else.
Oh fuck!
That's probably, I don't know, it might be something to do with it. But the definition of sleep paralysis is halfway being awake but also asleep. So you're in REM sleep, but you're also awake. So REM sleep is when you have rapid eye movement. Your body,
when you're in deep sleep.
Yeah, your body's still paralyzed. So we have dreams, but there's a kind of like a kickoff with the body. So the brain locks up the body when you sleep. So you don't act out your dreams unless you're a sleepwalker. And then those you've seen, like, there's this famous sleepwalkers out there, but
Dude, I run and kick like a dog in my sleep.
Like this?
Oh fuck, he's dreaming.
Oh, adorable. He's having a dream. So
Oh fuck. The clown has no penis.
what I read was that it's when your REM sleep was disturbed while you're sleeping.
so I know you're going to do this, so I got the actual freaking wiki.
That's
Okay.
every night for me.
He wikied this.
Sleep
What's REM sleep at
paralysis
30?
is a transition state between being awake and rapid eye movement, REM sleep. During REM sleep, we have vivid dreams, nightmares. When we sleep, our brain paralyzes itself, like I said. And one of the scientists that I was watching, and he did a paper also, is he believes, because, I mean, there's also these people in the paranormal field who believe you're actually experiencing something spiritual.
Yeah.
And his definition, and which every doctor's definition would be, is your brain can't differ from what's yourself and another when you're sleeping. And just like that, like when you look into a dark space, you try to fill it in with something, your brain, and you see faces and things like that, right? And in the sleep paralysis state, his definition is your body comes out like you can see yourself in your
Like
in your
astral
dream.
projection?
No, it's like you can, like those dreams where you can see yourself, like walking around and whatnot.
So basically, you're seeing yourself in third person.
Right, but he believes that in sleep paralysis, you can't differentiate yourself from another person. So he thinks that people's nightmares are this other person who is you is giving you nightmares because your brain is filling in the void of that's another person, and it's making this whole body figure, and it's able to do things and whatnot.
That's interesting. I never heard that one.
Yeah, and he says the whole thing about sleep paralysis is if you have sleep paralysis in the first place, the first time it happens, if you have dread or if you're seriously fearful of it and you wake up and you're scared, right? And it lasts for a while. Have you had those dreams? I hate those dreams. But when you go to sleep the next night, you have anxiety about going to sleep now because you just had sleep paralysis happen to you. He thinks that once you have that mindset of being scared and you want to go to sleep, that triggers sleep paralysis again and again and again. Then people get stuck in this loop of having this happen night after night sleep paralysis.
Lucky.
On the other hand, we have people who believe that these are actual demonic entities and or ghost spirits bothering them in their sleep and giving them nightmares. The actual definition of nightmare is the mare definition is I think it's in Greek. It's from a Greek origin, and it actually means night demon.
Yeah.
So the mare is a demon, and their nightmare definition is that when
It's
you
a
have
female demon, isn't it?
when you have a nightmare, they believe that it's a demon actually interacting with you, and that's why you have nightmares and get fearful. But people do believe, and I don't know. It's like I know that when you sleep, and there's many definitions about this, and there's many cultures talk about this. When you're asleep, you step into a different realm. It's many cultures have like it's a spiritual meaning behind it. Sleep, rest. People have dreams of their futures. They have things like that happening. And then sometimes down the line that happens. So they believe it's like an actual deep spiritual thing, which I believe also. Mm-hmm. What do you say?
Yep. Is that where like the stories of the Hat Man and shadow people come from?
I think so.
I actually found something on that.
Yeah.
Which I found
and we wanted
interesting.
I don't know, have we covered the Hat Man?
We've touched on it when we did Shadow People, like our few Shadow People episodes we did.
Right.
We kind of touched on that, where most of these people, when they're having sleep paralysis, they see a Hat Man or somebody wearing a hat, and they just kind of coined him, the Hat Man. Mm-hmm. But I found when I kind of started looking into this, I found a demon that actually wears a hat type thing. And so I kind of started looking into that, and I found out that is a sleep paralysis demon. And I thought maybe that's what people might be seeing.
Right.
Yeah. And it kind of gains like it's magic through its hat or something. I can't remember.
So what do you guys think, Deeth? What do you think sleep paralysis is?
That's what I picture.
Dolores, let's go to you.
oh, my bad.
I don't know.
Aaron, let's go to you.
I don't know. I've never had sleep paralysis. The only time I ever remember my dreams is when I'm having a nightmare, and I get kind of a thrill out of it. So I prefer to have a nightmare over just regular dreaming, because then I can remember it. I'm usually lucid enough in my dreams to be able to fucking kind of like fuck with it.
Right.
So like the nightmare never ends up turning out bad, no matter how like it starts. And I think that's because I used to live in a fucking super haunted house, and like I had nightmares like every night we lived there. And I just started like to cope with it. I just started like realizing I was in a dream, and I would fuck with it. You know what I mean? And then now the only time I get a thrill out of dreaming is if I'm having a nightmare.
It's like your own personal horror movie that you're the star in.
Pretty much. But I've never got like sleep paralysis for nothing, so I don't know. It's weird. I think it's just like a demon or something. It's got to be.
I remember you having a story about sleep paralysis.
You were there on one of them. I remember I had this dream, and it was like, a few dreams that kind of led up to this. I kept having these nightmares over and over and over. And finally I became kind of self-aware that I was in a dream, because this person I was talking to was kind of like, a part of the dream, but then all of a sudden stopped and turned around to tell me, like, kind of secretly, you got to wake yourself up. He said, somebody's doing this to you. Somebody's trying to like give you these nightmares, like do witchcraft or something. They're giving you these nightmares. You need to wake up right now. And that kind of like scared the hell out of me when I was I was like, oh my God, I am dreaming, And,
like,
and when that happened, literally the dream started falling apart. Everything started falling apart. The ground started cracking. There was fire coming up.
Like that Korn video?
Which one is that?
Falling Away From Me.
I know, I don't think I've seen that one. But
where the fucking video starts collapsing in on itself. Yeah.
I gotta check that out. But no.
Korn, bro.
But no, I remember, and it was like somebody that I don't even really talk to. They just all of a sudden were in my dream, and they were warning me about this. And I tried to wake myself up, and I remember I opened my eyes, and
it isn't Falling Away From Me. It's Coming Undone.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. But I opened my eyes, and in my bedroom, I had a projector on my wall. I had my PlayStation stuff hooked up to it, my sound system.
Bougie.
Yeah.
It was all stolen.
This guy was in my room playing Grand Theft. And I opened my eyes, and I saw Sidel sitting there playing the game. And I tried to call out to him, wake me up.
It's so funny. It's the first time I'm hearing this.
I was laying here like this, and I started kind of jolting. like my body, and I couldn't move. And I was trying to say Cedel, and he must have heard me because the game paused. He spins around and looks at me with this funny look on his face, and I'd fall back into the dream, and I couldn't wake up. I was like, trying to wake up. I was freaking out, and I opened my eyes again. I saw him sitting there staring at me, and I'm like, trying to jolt myself awake,
doing fucking Thriller and shit.
Like, Mom, I think Mark's on drugs.
I remember his face, and finally I just gasped. I woke up and I looked at him. I was like, "Oh my god!" And he's, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I was
You're all
"What
that
was-"
shit.
He said I was laying there jolting. I was like, "I was trying to call your name." He's like, "You weren't saying my name." I was like, "What was I saying?" He said, "You're going." I was just literally like just moaning and making these weird noises, trying to say Cedel, and I was just twitching, laying there twitching.
I think I do remember that.
One of the weirdest things, man. But yeah, that was like,
I think we told Mom about that.
yeah.
I think I did actually just run to Mom. I think he's on drugs.
Yeah, this guy's on that shit.
But that made me laugh because like just seeing him pause the game and look at me like, what the hell is going on? I was sitting there just trying to wake myself up and I couldn't move. And it was like, I hate those because you can't move, but you're self-aware. You're aware of everything in the room. You're aware you're sleeping, and you could just barely even try to move and shake yourself awake. But yeah, that happens to me once in a great while, and it's usually with dreams like that, like kind of nightmarish type dreams. This is like when TikTok started getting like famous for storytelling and whatnot. And there was somebody who was talking about sleep paralysis, and they mentioned how to do it. And I was like, that'd be kind of weird. I kind of want to experience that. And this is like one time when I was like really tired, and they say that's one of the ways to go into it is when you're really exhausted. Yeah. And they say to lay in bed, and I don't recommend doing this, but they say to lay in bed and stay.
He recommends it. He's honest.
They say stay still as possible. Keep your eyes open. Stay still. And those itches that you get,
it's your body trying to see if you're awake.
Yeah, to avoid those. So I was like, okay, so I'll try that. So I did this as long as possible. But as soon as I heard a bell ring, and then I heard a clap next to my ear, and I was like, nope, I'm not doing that. And then I woke myself up, and I actually tried to fall back asleep.
Yeah, it's your body trying to like make sure you're awake or asleep.
Yeah,
there's tell signs like that. Yeah,
really, I was just bitching at Jessica about like she's always overthinking shit. I'm like, just empty your mind. Don't think about anything. Just stay there and look at the ceiling and listen to the fan.
She's all rainbows.
I was all trying to coax her into sleep paralysis without even realizing it.
yeah, that's exactly what you're doing, dude.
Just don't move.
Just don't move. Don't think of nothing.
Just let it take over
Just
you.
let it take over. It'll be fine. Fall down.
Listen to this heavy metal band.
Right.
But yeah, like I think one of the creepiest stories was Aaron's story. Aaron Martin.
Oh,
was
right.
That
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck, dude.
He
Fuck
did have
that
a story.
Dude, we all could not sleep over. Remember that? Did you
Yeah,
watch
that
that?
one
Yeah.
I think he's told it more than once on the podcast,
Yeah.
too. It's fucked up.
I think I'll probably put that right here.
Feels like, and some people even see something on top of them, pinning them down.
Right.
And but like they wake up like that, you know
Or
what I mean?
something in the corner of the room.
So I roll over on my left side to try to get comfortable, and so I'm facing where the door is, and the door is closed. I cannot sleep with the bedroom door open. I don't know what it is. I cannot fucking do it. Whether it's nighttime, daytime, it don't fucking matter.
Mm-hmm.
So I roll on my left side, trying to get comfortable, and the door's open. I was like, that's not right. Because I always close the fucking door. I have to. Like, I can, if I know that fucking door's open, like, I don't even have to be.
You can feel it.
Yeah, I can fucking feel it.
Wow.
Like, I could have my back to the door and not even able to see it. And I have to get up and fucking close it.
Yeah.
Or, like, if Julia or Michael come into the room and don't close the door, it'll fucking wake me up, that door being open.
Wow.
But so I roll on my left side, door's completely fucking open. So I'm laying there, I was like, that's not right, the fucking door's open. Well, I better close that fucking thing. I can't move. And I was like, what the fuck? And then so I tried again. move. Couldn't fucking do it. And then pretty soon I'm fucking screaming in my head, get the fuck up and close the door. I can't fucking move. I can't even move my head. And I can barely take my fucking eyes off of this fucking door. And pretty soon, I don't know. It didn't even feel like it took that long. And a lot of people say, oh, it feels like fucking hours that you're stuck there. But it was just a few minutes or whatever the fuck. It didn't feel like time had stopped or it was a long fucking time. It just escalated really fucking quick because I'm fucking panicking. I'm telling my body to move and it won't. And then I see come around the door jamb. And then another hand. And then another hand.
Oh, wow.
And then pretty soon, it was like a slow crawl coming around the door jamb like this. And it kind of looked like the girl from Grudge. If she was like dolled up like a geisha, kind of, is like the best way I can describe it.
Wow. Oh my God.
And the way her hair was falling, her hair wasn't falling to the left. Like gravity was working.
Oh,
So
wow.
so she's coming
Kind of like
through the doorway.
It's like she's peering down.
Right.
Yeah. And then starts crawling at me. And I'm laying there and I'm staring at this fucking doorway in between, because there's the table on my side of the bed. It's a little round table, and then a pole comes up, and it's also a lamp.
Yeah.
And and she crawls right up to where, like, if this is the pole of the lamp, she's like right here. And from a laying position, I can reach up and turn off my lamp.
Oh my god,
Oh,
dude,
wow.
that is ugly.
And so forehead is all but touching the bar of the lamp under the shade in above the table. And I just closed my eyes. I couldn't move. I couldn't fucking continue to stare at this fucking thing. And somehow I managed to close my eyes. And then next thing I knew, it was morning.
That one was a good one. I think that's a good one that's a good example of sleep
And
paralysis.
that just creeped me the hell out. And we were all like, didn't even want to go into his living room.
Dude, I went into his bedroom. I think I was in his bedroom when he very first told me about that. And we were like trying to set a fucking TV or something up. And I just kept looking at his fucking door frame like, this bitch is
It's
coming
like you
in
could
here.
feel like something watching
Yeah,
you.
I was like, God damn it, dude. I'm gonna never be able to stay alone in your house. It's like, I ain't watching your kids. Like, God damn it.
But yeah, that one got me.
Disgusting.
Yeah, that was a creepy.
Ugh.
I remember you telling me you had your machine you wear when you
Oh,
sleep.
CPAP mask.
Yeah, and he didn't want to see anything. This guy put that on and laid face down.
Oh my god.
Yeah, pumps air right into me, man. I fucking lay face down in the pillow like a dead body. Can't see shit.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Stiff
that's
like
funny.
a board, too. Just planking.
But that demon I was talking about that wears the hat, it's called an elp. Is a nightmare demon or a nightmare creature originating in German folklore.
Interesting.
Of course.
Come on, man, I staggered
They're
through
Germans.
that.
Man, that almost turned into like a scripted episode right there. Because like interesting, because I just got
Hey. Holding up your paper.
because right here. Yeah.
But yeah,
This coming
and it
in
wears a
right now.
hat.
And
What kind of hat?
I don't know. It says it's not like a
Like an elf hat?
I don't. It's
A
it.
wizard hat?
The word elf is a variation on the word elf. Actually. There
Oh,
you
dude.
go.
I watched fucking Elf today.
Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Totally different elf, by the way.
But I was thinking of the hat. The coat.
Yeah. The elf is sometimes likened to a vampire, but its behavior is more akin to the incubus.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think
There's
this
different
looks-
cultures around the world that actually have their definition of what sleep paralysis is. In Cambodian, they call it kamash, and there's another word that goes with it.
This motherfucker doesn't have a hat.
It's supposed to be it, but they
Okay.
just put the hat in the picture.
In Cambodian, it's
Just photos.
described.
Like that's an actual photo of him. He's not wearing a hat.
This fucking sham over here.
In Cambodian, it's described as the ghost that pushes you down. Thailand, they also have one called Phiam, 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 2 separate words, and it haunts people when they are half asleep. In some traditional Chinese cultures, it is called Meng Yan, meaning ghost apparition. And all there is pointing to a more malevolent spirit that haunts you when you sleep.
In Serbia, a mare is called Mora. It's another one like what you were talking about, but they call it Mora in Serbia, and it's the same, literally the exact same thing.
So why are these demons named after women?
I don't. Well, not the Alp is actually the like a male version of it, apparently. But
True that. You did say that.
yeah.
So let's get what did you have happen to you?
What, the sleep paralysis? Man, mine are like real creepy because I can hear something talking.
Does it still happen to you?
It hasn't happened in a while, but I remember the last time is when Briseis was like real tiny and she was in her like crib, and then remember that floor is like real
Yeah.
creaky when you step on it. I was laying there and I don't know, I could like feel myself kind of like wake up because I could hear something whispering. I like kept trying to like look towards it and I could hear that like the floorboards moving and stuff. And then it kept saying, look at these children, like look at these babies and like they're so beautiful. And it was like, I want to touch one. And then like I kept trying to wake myself up and then like Coda felt me like move and then once he's like, hey, and then I like jumped up and then like I started screaming because
Get him away from the babies.
I know. And I started freaking out.
Oh,
that's
that's
fucked
gross. But even Carrie Thomas Cody told me a story that he had with
Really?
sleep paralysis. Yeah, might have to have him tell that when he comes
Yeah.
on.
Do you have the messages or no?
They're in there somewhere, but
Was
yeah,
it in
it's
response
like,
to this episode or
it
no?
might be, but yeah, he told me a couple stories, and that was one of them. But yeah, it's kind of crazy.
We'll have to get him on and talk about it.
Yeah.
So this whole thing about, I mean, we always go into that direction anyways, but this, the idea of having a nightmare is, in many different cultures, especially all the ones I listed and you listed, is they have a more malevolent meaning behind it. Meaning there's some sort of entity trying to influence their dreams or trying to disrupt almost like disrupt their mind in a way to where they fear sleep.
Maybe that's where the whispers are coming from. Is trying to whisper in your ear and mess with your dreams.
Maybe.
And
Huh?
and sleep is even getting into the more biblical aspects of things, is a lot of things happen in your sleep. We know this.
Yeah.
There was a prophet actually, one, two, three, I forgot. Anyway, there was one prophet who was told to lay down and sleep. His name was Elijah. And he was on a journey. I think he was leaving, he was fleeing from a king, but he was told to lay down. He fell asleep, and immediately he was woken up by an angel, and then he woke up to bread and water, I think, and it lasted for like 40 days, what he ate. But this idea of communing with, I guess, spirits or demonic entities is well over 2,000 years old. Is the belief of when you sleep, you're more, I think we talked about this before, is you're more susceptible and more open to spiritual attacks or spiritual communion with either a good spirit or a demon. Like an angel or God talking to you. People get dreams about their futures, things like that.
Yeah.
And the thing about seeing your future in things is that everyone's, even if you're not spiritual, even if you don't pray or if you don't go to church, or if you're an atheist, is you always try to find meaning behind something. So you're searching for different meanings to whether it's your dream or something that happened in your life, and you try to attribute that to something else. And you try to find meaning to it. And this is where people fall into hauntings, because they have something happen in the house, or something moves in the house, or they have a dream, whether that's good or bad, and they try to find meaning to it. So they either go to a place that is on their side, which is like a good person to actually interpret your dreams, or they'll go to someone like a palm reader or someone who works with crystals and things, and then they start falling into more of that element. And a lot of those are kind of shunned in certain countries too, like looking into like palm readers, and especially biblical. And that opens up a whole lot of doorways too. And I believe searching for the meaning behind your dreams in a wrong way can open up even more.
It can make it worse.
Yeah, it can make things worse for you. And having that feeling of dread, I think, just plays more into it, because when you're having emotions, that also interacts with your, like, the spiritual realms too. When you're anxious, you have more things happening to you. This is like a well-known thing with, like, investigators. Paranormal investigators usually push the person who's more vulnerable into a space because they know something's going to happen. When you have that feeling, it's like the spirits know what's happening.
Or the person most afraid at that time.
Right, because-
Because like you see somebody's uneasy. Like Zach Baggins does it to Aaron
Yeah.
all the time. Like in the earlier episodes, he'd do it to him all the time because he was always kind of really creeped out. And he'd lock him in somewhere like the basement or something, or in a room by himself, and leave the whole building because he's like really creeped out. This might amp up everything.
Remember
Yeah.
back when that show was good?
I know.
Yeah.
But I do believe that when people fall in that cycle of sleep paralysis over and over again, I think because they're afraid to go to sleep. And like what happens in between the time between when you had the first paralysis, your fear of it, like, did you try to search of why it's happening? What places were you looking? You know what I mean? Or do you expect it to happen and it just keeps happening over and over again? You get stuck in this loop.
You know, like they always say, like it's like probably hallucinations, or on the scientific aspect of it, it's hallucinations. Your mind's making up these things, or you're half asleep, so you're visualizing these things. But there's one thing that did happen to me that like always makes me think differently about that. Like I was
Schizophrenia.
Right, it's schizophrenia.
one incident that happened that makes me think otherwise. When we lived in that one house in Crow, not the one by the water tower, but the one by the dam.
Oh,
And-
no, I don't remember that one. I remember the one that happened in the water tower.
Yeah, but this one, this is the one that made me kind of think maybe it is something that you're actually seeing that's in the house that's messing with you, or these like demonic entities or spirits trying to mess with your dreams. I remember having this nightmare, and then when I slowly started opening my eyes, opening the eyes.
Mr. Krantz over here again.
Pick up an accent mid-story.
Just roll with it. Keep talking in that accent.
Why is Marcus from Brooklyn all of a sudden?
I know.
Brooklyn.
Open me eyes. I don't know.
But anyway, oh god, give me a second because I got to come back from that. But I remember having this dream, and I woke up and I was having like sleep paralysis, and when I opened my eyes, oh gosh, it was to the point where there was actually light coming in, to the room. It was morning. And everybody was still asleep. It must have been like the sun just came up because everybody was still asleep. And I don't know. I think I told this story before, but I didn't tell the whole thing. I remember I opened my eyes and I saw this figure like leaning underneath. We had a bunk bed and it kind of like leaned in like toward me. And I remember trying to wake myself up. And when I finally jumped up, this thing like jumped in toward the closet. Remember that sliding door closet we had?
He's like, oh, shit.
I know. I was like, oh. It jumped toward the closet, and I heard like something hit the wall, like a boom. And when it hit the wall, I was sitting there, and I remember my heart just beating, and I was like breathing really hard, and Al heard that boom.
Ew.
And he looked down, like I remember him looking down, like, what the hell are you doing? He looked mad that I woke him up. He was like, what the hell are you doing? I didn't tell him, but I was just like, nothing. I thought, never mind. I tried to go back to sleep, but yeah, like that's what makes me kind of wonder.
Hear
if
that
you're
fucking
actually
spirit
seeing
fucked
something.
his elbow up. Is like cussing in the closet. Motherfucker.
Sitting there like this.
God damn it.
But
Shit.
that's kind of like makes me think maybe some of these things people are seeing are real spirits,
Right.
not just hallucinations.
Man, you
Just
gotta
all
do
over
some
the
freaking.
place.
I am like,
You gotta do some exercises over there. You
I gotta do my Anchorman exercises before we fire this thing up.
Oh, now,
Screaming
brown
into
cow.
the mic.
Unique New York.
Me eyes.
Me eyes.
Me eyes.
I saw him with me eyes.
Yes.
And this is, I think it's like the theme of the podcast. It's just like they have meaning, but then again, there are some dreams which you're, because you're a spiritual person.
Yeah.
And even if you don't believe that, you have a spiritual side. But there are dreams given to you, whether that's like a divine nature. There are dreams given to you also through your, which would be probably your, I think it's your soul or your person, your mind. It creates these dreams also in the natural. And once you start searching for different meanings behind that, because I mean, you can ask for things in your dreams too. This is a place where if you learn how to actually know you're in a dream, experiencing it, being in it, this is actually biblical too, is I think Solomon, he asked for wisdom. And so you're able to commune with whatever's on that side of the dream, whether that's the spirit or something divine. And that's one of the things too, is getting into those searches. Because when we talked about the Book of Enoch too, these angels brought down knowledge, science, things of nature. And our search, everyone's search is like, what's the meaning behind something? What's the meaning of life? Things like that. You're either searching for divination, whether you're trying to figure out what's going to happen in the future. You're trying to search for knowledge of the dead, something that's passed on. You're trying to search for, I guess, meaning in life, and that could be like a doorway also. Mm-hmm. And that's just more of like a recap of what I said earlier. It's just more defined, and because I missed that part. That part's important.
Yeah, you just got to be careful because what you could be talking to could be something dark.
Right, but I mean, you do this anyways. I mean, we're a paranormal podcast where we talk.
I know.
But it's it's a scary thing, especially when you're sleeping, because in your sleep, I believe that if you're to be attacked in a certain way, you probably couldn't even wake up from it. Mm-hmm. And that's probably happened before. There's probably been...
Well, that could be where sleep paralysis comes from. You're trying to wake yourself up.
Right.
Twitching like a freaking dead fish. While your brother stares at you like, what the hell's wrong with you? That situation.
Maybe the sleep paralysis demon is just trying to get you some extra rest, because... Fuck.
You're like moving around, it's just sitting on you, trying to...
Like, calm the fuck down, dude. You need your sleep, bro.
It's sent there to give you a rest.
That's trying to you haven't had your full 8 hours yet. Go back to bed.
It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing?
He's just trying to look out for you, and you're just misinterpreting it. You know, like, this guy's a fucking dick.
Like, he's trying to hold you still, and you're looking at him like... all over you.
And I mean, there's many stories people having sleep paralysis, and they immediately. I think this is one of the things they failed to do too, is go to a doctor and figure out what the hell is going on with you. Mm-hmm. Like, why is your body so exhausted, or why are you falling into that now? Like, is there like stress introduced into your life? Is there something happening, lifestyle wise, that is forcing you to have stress, and you fall into this cycle of sleep paralysis?
Some of these theories, they like on the scientific side, during your dreams, it's almost like a simulation. Mm-hmm. Like you're trying to understand something, like what happened to you earlier in the day,
trying to fix things,
or even like these like nightmares. You're basically kind of putting yourself in the simulation, trying to figure out what I would do if I was in this situation.
Right.
I think that's like another theory.
That's like and that could be like you could fall into things like grief doing that.
Yeah.
Is your body and your mind is trying to fix things that already happened.
I know, like in my dreams, I still act like an imbecile. It's fucked up.
You don't make yourself any smarter in the dream.
It'll be like in a gunfight, and then for some reason can't hit a target. You know what I mean? Like, God damn! Then all frustrated in my dream, but fucking God,
this is my dream.
Somehow I end up not dying, but I still can't hit nobody. You know what I mean?
It's like Stormtrooper style, just missing everything.
Pretty fucking much. Or like I had a dream last night.
You bring a knife to the gunfight.
I had a dream last night where I was fucking riding around in my uncle's old ass Suburban with all the family in there for some fucking reason, and I just cannot fucking drive this truck right, dude. I was like all over the goddamn place. I knew about dreaming, like, God damn it, I gotta fucking drive this truck right. I ain't driving it right. I could not fucking drive it right. Like there was a specific spot like going around the fucking football field here in Hardin where I was like all over the fucking road. I just woke up frustrated.
You just woke up pissed.
Your uncle's still alive?
Yeah.
Have you tried helping him with anything recently, or?
No, he lives in Colorado.
I know that cars.
That's weird.
I know that cars have a
not meaning. That he lives in Colorado. That's not weird. I mean,
dude, and he also hasn't had that Suburban in like fucking 15, 20 years.
so weird.
Okay, yeah.
He drives a Subaru now.
I think the closest thing that I've ever really had something like that happen, actual being in it, was mom will tell you about this one because I went into her room like stumbling in, and you remind me of that one. I fell asleep and immediately I was in a car, and I was driving up this it's like a mountain area, and I was getting mad at God at the time, I think, in my dream. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know what the hell I was mad about, but I was like yelling at him. And I don't know what the heck was going on in my life at the time, but this well, I know what it is, but this figure appeared in the mirror in the back, and you couldn't see it. It was just like a figure, and it was bright, and like when you look into a light bulb, you can kind of see the outer edges of it.
The after image?
Right, but it's like it's too bright where it's like you can't see any details on it. And then it says his name was Gabriel, and when he talked, that voice scared me awake.
Like booming.
Yeah, like I was trying to understand how was his voice so contained in the car, because it sounded like he was over like a bunch of megaphones or
Like
something.
he was sitting in the back seat with a megaphone right behind me.
And I just remember feeling this bass in my body.
My name is Gabriel.
Were you watching the movie Constantine or anything right before that?
I'll like tell you this.
But I remember feeling like this like vibration in my body when he spoke.
Oh yeah.
Like he had this like bass to him when he spoke. And he told me something. I talked to a prophet after that, but I woke up and I was scared about what the heck just happened. And when I woke up, it was still talking to me.
What the fuck did he say to you?
It was telling me,
Right.
it was it's more personal, I think, to me anyways. But it was telling me things about my life at the time. And I woke up and I can see these words going by me. Mm-hmm. And I got up out of bed and I can barely move, and I got myself up. I walked out of the room, hit the wall because I could still hear him like talking. And I got myself to mom's room and I hit the wall and I fell in the door, and I was freaking out. And she's wondering what the heck is happening. And then I told her about it maybe 10 minutes later, about that experience that I had. I think that's the closest thing I had to something like experiencing something spiritual, I think, in sleep. Mm-hmm. One of the more profound things anyways that happened to me.
Oh, okay.
I always like that story.
I never told that one on the podcast either.
Yeah. There was one I had, but it's not sleep paralysis, but I did see something when I woke up. And yeah, I never told that story. I don't think I told that story.
Was that the one in the water tower?
No.
Okay, the one I'm trying to get you to that one, because that one that one I experienced in the living room. We experienced it. It was me, I think it was Merville or somebody, and Mom. But we were trying to lay down and sleep, and I remember the sun was kind of coming up, and we were staying up late like we always did. And we hear things flying down the hallway. And a flip-flop flew past, I think it was Merville, and hit Mom's door. And there was nobody in the hallway. Nobody back there.
Scary.
Yeah,
and we thought it was just something happening in that house.
Right, what the fuck?
Like something crazy happening, yeah.
Well, that was odd.
I don't know that.
You had I remember you telling Mom about it, and there were these, it might have been Al.
Oh, are you talking about when something was holding them down?
Yes, that's it. That was Al then.
And I remember you, he said that, I think Jessica even said that she couldn't get up, like something was holding Al down. Mm-hmm. And then when she got up or something, she said it tried to hold her down. And the reason why was because when they looked over the crib, and we even brought this up, I think on the last one, where we talked about like babies or something, they saw this thing over the crib, and it looked like black smoke kind of going back and forth like this.
Right.
And that's when they tried to get up, and it was like something was holding them both down. And I remember Jessica telling me about this, and she said that she couldn't move. She couldn't, she was trying to get to Kalia, and Kalia was a baby. Mm-hmm. and she said that she finally said the word Jesus, and it's like this thing just went back, and she was able to get up, and she ran and grabbed Kalia. It was either Kalia or Andre when they were a baby. And I think that's when that whole thing happened, when I think it tried to make its way out of the door or something. But that's the time you're talking about.
We didn't know what was happening until the next morning, I think.
Yeah. But I saw something similar to that though. It wasn't over like a child or anything, but it was when I lived in California. And I remember waking up, and this is the weirdest thing. I remember waking up and I heard the most unsettling music playing, and it just sounded so freaking creepy, and I couldn't understand the words. It sounded like it was like in a different language, and just the sounds, it almost sounded like it was something on loop over and over. And I was like, what the hell? I remember rolling over and looking, and where the stereo was, there was something like that over the stereo going like this, and it looked like a black smoke. And I remember pulling the plug on that stereo.
Like, this bitch is about to start on fire, guys.
Yeah.
Smoking.
Don't even go to the spirit or freaking supernatural. It's like smoking.
Wow.
Like you have an electrical problem,
Right?
That's that freaking like that Pete Davidson
Dude,
skit.
like I can never almost get through a story like that because of him or freaking Aaron Martin. I was has to jump in with something stupid. Like I was telling that story, like he didn't put it out yet, but that story we're doing on mirrors and like Bloody Mary and all that.
Oh yeah, the one he
Yeah, and then I was telling
pure wheezy gold
Oh my god.
Yeah, an hour and a half of just
of awesome
solid gold.
Just great podcasting.
Oh my god.
Down the
That
tube.
was supposed to be put out for like Halloween, I think, and he didn't put it out. Did you want to tell him why you didn't put that episode out?
Like, this is a masterclass of a podcast.
Did he tell
Because
you?
he wasn't sitting in the right fucking spot.
Yeah, I was sitting in his spot.
Which
I'm
is
always on
and
this
he was
side.
throwing a
no,
fit and
no.
pouting.
You're always sitting right
I'm
here.
always on this side of the
next to
screen.
me.
I can show you. I'll put it right here. I'm always
Oh
on
my
this
God.
side.
Yeah, on like camera view, he is always stage left.
To be
Yeah.
fair, that was only like the second time we ever set up like that in the guitar room.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he kept trying to make me move out of that seat for the longest
And for,
time.
Yeah,
for
and you
most of the
wouldn't do it.
podcast, you're sitting right here for me.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
You're always sitting to the left of me. In most podcasts, and you were sitting to the left
yeah,
of me
that's
that
true.
night.
When we did it in the when we had the green screen, you were always on that side.
Yeah, I
So
remember.
you
I
kind
know
of
that.
out of
That
nowhere.
was the only
I was
reason
like,
I
he just
sat
wants
over
him to
there.
see his freaking side head tattoo. I think that's the only thing I could think of.
It's on both
or
sides.
his chains.
It doesn't
It
matter.
is on both
I
sides.
had some
what I
brassy
said.
chains.
And then he was like, "No, I had my bandana on that side." I was like, "You got to give that
Put it on
bandana
this
some
side
screen
this time.
time." Then.
He had it on this
Jesus.
side, and I told him no one's gonna see it, and he put it on that side.
But yeah, like I remember telling that the story. It was the story I told you about when something was tapping on the mirror.
Yeah.
And I was like, right when I finished that story, that Aaron said something so freaking stupid and just kind of killed the mood on it. I was like, oh, that didn't hit like I wanted it to.
Anyways,
There
proceed
goes
with
my
your
smile.
story.
But this guy and Aaron always do that.
He doesn't remember his story.
I know he's far gone from it now.
Too
I
late.
thought you were gonna
Okay.
tell that one where you said you seen something that looked like the shape of Grimace.
Oh, yeah.
I freaking hate that one.
I forgot about
I've seen
that.
a couple people like that.
Oh my god.
I've seen a couple grimaces walking around town, going through the drive-through.
They're thick in these parts. You know what I mean? Thick.
Clever play on words there.
Wow.
No, like I know which one you're talking about though.
Yeah.
Well, this was a different house in California.
Was it purple?
It was not purple, dude. Shut up. All right, I'll tell
Was
it.
it Grimace's
It
house?
was-
Was it holding a shake?
Did he offer you a milkshake? I was just gonna say that.
Did it smell like
Did
fries?
this take place at the Ronald McDonald House?
Was Hamburglar with him?
Did it smell
Come
like
on.
steel French fries?
All right, I'm not telling the story. Let's keep
Anyway,
going.
go ahead. No, I want to hear it.
Oh, okay. No, I thought I told this story before, but yeah, this happened in a different house when I lived in California, and I remember staying in this back room, and it was like dark as hell back there, and I remember waking up. I heard a noise. I was like, "What?" Kind of listening, and I remember I looked up, and this was in the middle of like the woods, like there's nobody around, you have to walk a few miles just to get to the next house. And I remember rolling over and looking toward the doorway, and there was a light on in the kitchen, but it just kind of way down the hall. So there was light coming through the doorway, and I remember seeing this figure start peeking in the door, and like the way it kind of leaned in was like way over, and just the shape of it wasn't like anything I've ever really seen, and it was kind of shaped like how you would the silhouette of Grimace, like the way it looked, like he was kind of like
a pear.
Yeah. Kind of like a pear. But all I saw
helping
was
you
like,
out. I ain't
if
roasting
this thing was like had like arms, legs, like a man, almost like Grimace. This thing, I only saw like the top half of it, so it was like the shape of it was
That
like
is
really
so weird. Yeah,
really big, and it leaned in, and I remember like trying to like adjust my eyes because like, am I seeing this thing? And the person I was with at the time, I kind of nudged her, and I was gonna see if she could see it. And when I nudged her by the third time, it looked out. She didn't move. She just said, "I see it." That's the only thing she said.
Whatever. You know, she said she was loving it.
Stupid.
he thought about that like 10
He
minutes,
was
10
like,
seconds ago.
I know, I could hear her getting excited on the mic.
He had that one like locked and loaded. Wait, I'm gonna drop this.
I knew you'd bring a part up like that. I could drop it in. She said to wait.
But no, like I remember after like by the time I saw it come in the third time is when I nudged her and she said, "I see it." And that just gave me the chills, man, when she said that, because I thought she was gonna be asleep and I thought I was just hallucinating or something. And when it moved back out of the doorway, I got up quick. You know, I got up and I tried to rush around the corner to see what this thing was or who it was. And I kept hearing stories about this one room. It was a room her brothers stayed in, and they were even creeped out of that room. They would never really sleep in there. They'd sleep in the living room. And once in a while they would stay in there, but they also they get bothered. And I remember they had this they just had like a blanket over the room because they had the door off. And when I looked down the hallway, that blanket was closing, like something threw it up, and
So
it
gross.
dropped. And I went in there and I opened up I pulled that blanket over, and there was nobody in that room. The window was shut and locked. I checked everything, went through the house, and yeah, so didn't hear anything try to leave. Everything was just dead silent. And yeah, that was like in like 3 in the morning.
When you told that story the first time, I pictured the bad guy in Bugs Bunny. Is he a bad guy?
The big red guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the opposite of Grimace.
He's like
the
shaped like a
monster.
heart.
He tapers down instead of,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shaped like a pear.
Yeah,
Upside, yeah, fair.
So we got a couple of those walking around here.
right.
Yeah.
You know,
that's-
I believe that was all just from like McDonald's subliminal ads. I bet you had a fucking McChicken later that day.
yeah, I'm just craving a number
Dude.
4 with
I need me a quarter pounder. I don't know what the fuck it is.
I don't know why I'm craving that. We got to go to Mickey D's
I need
right
a
now.
fucking large fry milkshake.
Oh my god. But yeah, that was weird, man. That was a weird one.
Did you read any stories about anybody else having these dreams?
I think I did. You guys have anything?
Just type in
Anything to add?
Grimace dreams. Do you think like reoccurring dreams could be kind of part of a sleep paralysis type thing? Like, say you have a nightmare, it's the same nightmare, and you've had it for fucking years, and it just, you know, like maybe once a year you have that same exact dream.
I've always wondered about reoccurring nightmares. Or reoccurring
I think some people
dreams.
like the scientific side of it. They try to say that's something you're trying to deal with,
Right.
probably. But when it's like nightmarish,
What if you've been having the same nightmare since you were like fucking 5 or 6?
That could be associated to a lot of things, whether that's trauma. I know dreams are interesting, and it's been something I've been fascinated with for a long time. Is
Jesus.
not only the physical meaning of a dream, but the spiritual meaning of a dream, the significance, whether that's in psychological things too. Because even if you're looking at it at a spiritual standpoint of you're having this dream, there's symbology and whatnot in there. There's also this side of you that is physical, so there could also be physical inputs, I guess, that your mind's inputting certain things inside your dream. And we and this is something I want to investigate also, is those recurring dreams, whether that's a regular dream or a recurring nightmare. And the reason I asked it, if there's like trauma or something that you had, is sometimes those can play a big deal with dreams or recurring nightmares. Is because if you have some sort of trauma, your mind can suppress it in a way, even though you remember it in your waking life. Is certain aspects of either trauma or a bad memory can play out in this nightmare in a more nightmarish way. It's just different characters being more aggressive than the actual trauma that happened, or something of that nature. I think.
Dude, I've had this like reoccurring nightmare since I lived on that house on Crook. That's got to be like the most haunted house I ever lived in. But
Dude, you gotta
God
do something
damn it.
about that thing.
right, it's like too short. But
I think you're what's too short.
Dolores will like this. It involved Chucky because it was around the time where I first watched Chucky.
Yeah.
And I think at the beginning that dream was kind of a fucking bad dream. You know what I mean? Well, it was still kind of a bad dream. But I think that's where I learned to kind of like control what happens in my dream, because it used to be like I was super fucking scared, and it always plays out in that house. Like Chucky is like going through our rooms and in my mom's room, and then I end up just like whooping his fucking ass, like kicking a baby, you know what I mean, into a wall. But I've had that dream like reoccurring, and not the bad one where everybody dies, but one where I just whoop its ass. Like every couple of years, I'll have that dream and be like, "Whoa, what the fuck am I having that dream for?" And there's another one too, but I can't ever remember it until it happens. And then
I hate those.
Then I'm like, dude, I've had that dream before, and then I can't remember it.
Yeah.
But that Chucky one for sure, all the fucking time. And it started out, I think the first couple times I had that dream, it was like bad deal, and then it was like to where I was like thinking like, this is my fucking dream, like who the fuck are you, little fucking ginger fuck, I have to kick him up against the wall. And it's me whooping his ass all the way around the house. And then it's a good dream. I just kind of chuckle about it, but I'm like, fuck, that's kind of weird. I had that again. I'm in my 30s now, having this shit since the 90s.
Yeah.
That is strange. It's
I'm all wearing Chucky socks.
I know. She's wearing good guy socks.
Dude, as an adult, Chucky and the Leprechaun, they're so fucking cheesy, dude.
Man,
I like that.
Dude,
Yeah.
I like
Zach
the
hated
cheesiness.
the Leprechaun so
of
much
the
when
old
we were
movies.
kids.
I was telling you, we watched one of the newest Leprechauns because I was so excited to show her the Leprechaun. We watched it and it was just the stupidest thing.
Was it Origins?
So I don't know what it
Or
was. It
it
just
the
wasn't
one that
even
wasn't
Leprechaun. It
even-
was like
yeah, it was like a
they barely showed him and it wasn't even him. It was like
He was
this
like a
tall figure.
silhouette in the background
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah. I like the classics.
Yeah, the
They're
classic
cheesy.
ones.
They're funny, though. It's like
Yeah, that's why
watching
I like 'em.
Gremlins or anything still. It's like, what the fuck?
Like
And then you're
nostalgia.
like, all right.
Yeah, I like the effects and stuff they had on those old ones.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Dolores always has this every time I think of like her childhood, I think of like this
Your childhood?
our childhood.
Our childhood of being human.
We've had a lot of weird things happen with us growing up. It's like these like her seeing my doppelganger, things like that happened a lot
Those
growing
things are
up.
weird, man.
Yeah, and it's like, where does that come from? Like, we didn't have trauma in the house or nothing.
No.
And like, where do things like that? That's why I'm so interested in looking into dreams and things like that.
I wonder, though, like, you guys have lived in a lot of, like, weird, fucked up places. I wonder if there was trauma in the places you were at.
That's what I
That's
Yeah.
what I
thought.
was
Before you
wondering.
got there.
And that could be a thing because a place can, well, this is, I was looking also, I'm studying for, I want to do a episode on exorcisms, but looking into those is a place can be, well, everyone knows that it's a haunted place can be, it's a possessed place. It can be oppressed, and that's kind of how your spiritual side is too. Is you have a soul, you have a spirit, and the soul can be oppressed, meaning that it can be attacked, and they can manipulate your emotions, your thoughts, and things of that nature through your spirit.
Maybe this oppressed house is just able to tap into you guys because you guys are, like, a little bit sensitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
probably.
your whole fucking family.
And
Like
that's how.
I kind of
Because you guys are really religious. You know what I mean? Like, your whole fucking family is kind of religious. And maybe you guys are just a little bit more aware, and that house feeds off of it.
Probably.
I was told that you'd be tested more, if you were like really really in the, you know, church and stuff like that, or your, you know, Christianity, that kind of thing. If you're like really, really into that, and you'd be tested a lot more. Even like, especially people that have like, you know, gifts of a prophet.
I mean,
stuff
he's
like that,
been
you'd be
fucking
tested
testing
a
me
lot.
for the last few years. God damn it. It's bullshit.
I know.
Stop.
You like lately
Stop.
you've been having like all these things going on with you, and
Fuck.
I was like, man, maybe it's following you home from him, his house, because we had a lot of things going on here. Remember?
Because it is, even if you are a saved Christian, you can still have a possession. You can still be haunted because you're the spirits in the spirit realm. It knows that you're either new, and if you move into a place and you're saved, whatever, and you go into a place and it's already oppressed by something, that thing can also affect you, and it can affect your dreams.
And they say
I'm
that
not saved. I've never been baptized.
just out of nowhere.
Just so you
Just
know.
Nacho Libre.
I know.
and like,
Come over with a bucket of water.
He's
Freaking
like, praise the Lord.
I know my monster. Just like,
Never been saved. My little brother has. I never did.
Yeah.
but it's just something I'm trying to get to is
You made me forget what I was going to say because that really caught me off guard.
the reason I go that way is because it is our upbringing, but also it's one of I've looked into everything, and it's one of the things you're not supposed to do, but is looking at exhausting every avenue and looking into actual text that talks about spirits and demons.
Yeah, you can literally become obsessed with it, and almost like if you become really obsessed with a certain thing, that also becomes like your worship, your God.
Yeah.
And that can be really dangerous.
Yeah,
You could
especially-
be like what do they call that? Like a wandering soul.
Yeah, especially if you right away just jump into demonology, angels.
This
and-
reminds me of that one book you guys were talking about. That it was like a certain book, and you read it, and all of a sudden you kind of get
Yeah.
obsessed with it, and then it like fucking takes you over.
He came
came-
to set the captives free.
Yeah,
Weird.
that
I
one.
was thinking
Yeah.
of that book the other day.
Yeah.
we-
Synchronicity.
You remember having that?
guess.
Remember that the things that were bothering our friend at the time,
Yeah.
and he was having some weird things because this was the time when Mary Kay Baxter was around, and she's a well-known author, Christian author who knew our family well. And when she was around, she was talking about this book and saying to avoid it, and because she's an author and she knows that this lady had books that she said she went well for a while. She was actually on the right track, but then also later on, she started to write about the occult more. And not only that, but putting
Real chance.
real
and
chance inside of them.
prayers.
Yeah. And that if you're not careful, maybe she did have the right intentions, but if you're not careful reading that book, it can have some sort of effect on you.
Yeah.
It's like that fucking meme that Aaron shares, like when you're studying your Latin and you keep getting the phrases wrong, and it shows that black goat.
peeking in the doorway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like summon a demon. Trying to read that book and go peek.
Dude, I've been trying to think of that book's name for like ever too. I'm like, fuck, what was that book's name called?
The one we talked about?
Yeah,
That
about
book,
summoning demons and shit by accident.
Yeah, we like. You guys went on so long, I completely forgot what I was going to bring
I don't
up
even
and
know.
talk about.
It doesn't
but-
matter. It's
yeah,
cool.
Yeah. Oh no, what I was going to say was.
Anyway, I remember just now.
It like literally popped in my head
Very good.
when you're talking about.
You're so bad
I
at
know
those.
you're- you gotta like
I
mark
set those
them.
at-
You need to put like a little notepad with labels on
I
it.
know. I should, but you
press
can
number
change
4
these.
now.
Right.
And go
But,
ahead, proceed.
Yeah, what I was thinking was when you're talking about moving into a new home and people that are like of strong faith, that kind of thing. What I thought was maybe there were people who were saying this place wasn't haunted when I lived there, or maybe that stuff didn't kind of happen when I was there. These demonic entities, they are territorial.
Right.
So like if you move into a place and it feels threatened, it'll probably try to challenge you. That's what I was thinking. So maybe that's when you move into a place like that, it really amps up.
Yeah.
I get like little weird shit in like almost every place I've lived too. And
You're a little weird shit.
hey,
He memorized it.
Hey, he knows
I
what
did.
he remembered that before you started.
I used to hit that button all the time. brings me
I just
back.
like making like short jokes to this guy. So-
My gosh.
Yeah,
that-
you guys are all fucking giants. Fuck all you.
I was gonna say he's a short joke.
Oh,
that was
that's why I'm so. That's why I'm so funny. Humor's all I got.
that was tasty.
that was.
Pew, what the fuck was that?
That's a high five. But I'm not gonna high five.
Friend.
E.T. That's how E.T. high fives.
Says
That's
pew.
funny.
Oh fuck.
Anyway, you were saying,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Saying.
like you were talking about like when you moved into places, like weird things. Would
Yeah,
happen.
weird things happen. I'm not like real spiritual. Like I believe in the paranormal and I believe in God and stuff like that. But I don't go out of my way to like, well, I don't know. I kind of do like history and shit.
Yeah.
But I don't like super dive into the shit. You know what I mean? Well, with paranormal stuff maybe, but not so much holy shit.
Yeah.
Like the demons and stuff, they freak me the fuck out, so I stay away from it. But I do have like weird instances like here. And then in my fucking trailer, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, like that. And other people don't have that kind of reaction in there.
Yeah, like
but
it's
I
just
do.
almost like kind of bothering you.
Right. And sometimes I think that shit could just be like negativity in the household, draw shit in.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know,
Yeah.
negative shit happens all the time. I'm really sarcastic. So it's probably my fault. But shit, I lived in that same house you guys did. And
Yeah.
it was haunted as fuck when I lived there too.
Yeah, like almost kind of had the same things kind of happen. In
Yeah.
that place. Yeah, that
So-
was. Yeah, she even told a story in the last one about that.
Oh, about
that
Cody Avenue?
staying in that room that you were talking about that had
The window in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
creepy-ass
my
window.
room.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
told
I
one on
hung
the
an
last
American
one.
flag over it because I'd always see faces in there.
Oh God.
Ew.
That's gross.
There's
We-
just like a little tiny spot where you can like see just
I think
blackness.
And you can't get in
Well,
there.
and
Yeah.
then there's a spot you could see up through the other part of the addition, and you can see the light from outside where the vent is. And so that light would shine through it sometimes.
And you think maybe
Do you ever remember that?
Man, just think if
I
someone
used
was
to
really
s-
looking at you through that.
My bed was exactly opposite. You know, like there's the door to get into my room. The bed was right here, and I was facing that fucking window all the time.
Why'd you do that to yourself?
I know.
Because I'm fucking weird, and I would just stare into there until it finally I thought I seen a face, and then I fucking hung something over the
You
window.
hung something over it too.
yeah, I had a blanket over it.
Yeah, I remember that. And we would never touch that window
I
ever.
know.
Yeah, it was fucking weird.
That house,
And that closet was creepy
that
too.
whole house had weird vibes.
Yeah, no shit. Did you ever fucking smell perfume in the basement randomly?
I remember you bringing that. I honestly, I wouldn't remember.
My little brother used to sleepwalk when I was a kid, and this guy was fucking terrified of the dark. And he had the forward room, and you know, he was one of those kids, lights all the way down in the basement. You know, they had the pull chains down there.
Yeah.
Guilty.
And fucking, well, we had our TV, you know, our fucking N64 and our fucking shit down there, all our toys and stuff. And one time my mom wakes up and she goes into Zach's room and he's not fucking there. And then, so she comes into my room, like, wake up, you know, like, is your brother in here? I'm like, Zach's not in here.
Yeah.
So we go down to the basement. Basement's pitch fucking black. And, you know, pull string. We get to the end, and he's sitting by the couch playing with his toys. We're like, Zach, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm playing with Grandma. All our grandmas are alive.
In the pitch black,
In the pitch black, in the basement.
very far corner, and
Far
that's a
corner.
ways to walk.
It
too, in
is.
It
there.
is.
And, yeah, past all the washer and dryer hookups, you know, that far
Yeah.
fucking corner, that's where our TV was.
That's where I had my TV too. when I
Yeah,
was down
yeah.
there.
And he's playing with Grandma. Pitch fucking black.
Ew.
Somebody's grandma apparently.
Yeah,
I know.
but because in the other corner, you
Someone
know,
crawled through the window.
you know, you come,
Oh my god.
you come down the stairs and then you can go like directly this way. We had our computer set up there, but sometimes I'd be playing like computer, like Age of Empires or some shit.
Yeah.
And I'd smell like old lady perfume out of fucking nowhere.
Man, that's
and
ugly.
after that happened, I'd get the uneasy feeling somebody's watching me. And we had like made our own little office out of blankets down there into the computer room.
Yeah.
And I always had the one open so I could see the stairs just in case Zach's trying to fuck with me or something. And yeah, it always feel like something's staring at me. Like, you remember how those stairs go? I don't think they had a guardrail.
No, they did not.
And it always looked like something was like peeking underneath.
Yeah, underneath the
Yeah. And remember how to get to the attic? It's like fucking dumb. You
I
pull the
know.
cord down and then it's the stairs land on top of the other stairs
Yeah.
to go down into the basement.
And that thing
in the addition.
never fully closed. It was always
I
open
know, it
like
was
this
always
much.
like
Yeah,
that
dude.
open.
Dude, I used to haul ass down that basement like, oh shit, something's staring at me through the
this
attic.
one
Man,
time-
and Dad would hang his overalls
Yeah, he would hang his
there.
overalls
Gosh,
right there.
yeah.
Fuck
I
that. You
remember
just
going
think
down-
it's Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, it looked like that.
I remember walking. I was going to go downstairs because that's where I was staying. And right when I walked in, I just saw the overalls and just like Michael Myers looking overalls there. And
Dude, how about, I can't believe that garage is still up.
I
Oh
know,
my
dude.
god!
Dude,
I
that thing
know.
was ghetto when I lived there. I lived there in like 2002 or 2003. You know what I mean? And that garage looked like it was going to fall over back then.
Yeah, it's still there.
It's still there. They used that motherfucker too.
I
Yeah.
remember I had to sell like chocolate covered strawberries to someone that lived there, and I asked them if it was anything ever happened, and she's
That's
like,
right.
she's like, it's a little creepy.
That's all.
And I was like,
I
okay.
remember that.
Hella creepy.
yeah, that place was creepy, dude.
Yeah, all
when-
those lava rocks and all those trees my mom fucking put in there, the rose
fun.
bushes and
Yeah.
shit.
When we moved in there, we went to the attic. Remember that?
Yeah, we were up
We
there.
found an old bed that had like just a frame that had like a bunch of scratchings and stuff on it.
Yeah.
Like it was set
Your
up.
dumbass brought it down.
Yeah, it was set up there. That was weird to find in an old house. And we found some paintings up there. I have one of them still.
I remember going to the attic and it was just 2x4s and insulation. Did
Yeah.
they put a floor up there?
No.
No.
Oh, I
It was
remember
still like that.
there was just like the very front part. We had put boards up so you could put storage up there, but then the whole rest of the attic was all insulated.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
still
it was
like
still
that.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember Sue used to hide our shit up there and tell us it got stolen when we left it outside. Went up there, found a fucking scooter and a bicycle and all sorts of shit. I was like, I thought this shit was gone. You're a liar. You told me to come up here and get the Christmas lights. Fuck.
What's his scooter?
Yeah, he went deep
It was
into
a
memory
fucking
of that
Razor
one.
scooter too.
No, he's just gonna rage out for a minute.
You know, honestly though, like that house is creepy as shit. But the part of my childhood that I miss and love and cherish the most was when I lived there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I had the funnest fucking summers. Like the whole block, we'd play laser tag, or we'd just play like hide and go seek tag at night with the whole block. The neighbors next door, the Goldsmiths, had a trampoline. We'd fucking all camp out on the trampoline. It was just fun as fuck. That was back when Hardin used to actually give you those coupon books. You go to fucking matinees and get a popcorn and
yeah, I
drink.
remember that.
Go to the fucking pool and swim and get a snack there. And then the school lunches and shit, you know, in the
Yeah.
summertime. It was fucking dope.
Yeah.
Dandy Tom's ice cream. Remember that shit?
Yeah. It's just straight reminiscing now.
Dude,
about,
I'm old as fuck.
Play sad music over that.
I know, some
But for real, like
violence.
some of
Just
the
zoom
best
in.
times I remember were
Yeah,
in,
we're
that,
in
house,
that house.
Even though it was creepy as fuck, but it was still alright.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's like I don't know why, but like something like that would happen, something really creepy, and it's like the next day we just forget about it. Like there was nothing, and go on living in that house.
that's
Right.
that's
Or
kind
any
of how.
house.
how
Dude, I remember
things-
playing Resident Evil 2 on the N64 in that basement with all the lights off. Fucking dumb. I couldn't sleep for fucking days. With the fucking zombies come at you through the wall at the fucking fire or
Yeah,
at the
I
police
remember
station. I was like, oh fuck.
Jump scaring yourself.
Yeah.
That was like the only place I think that when you go downstairs, do the laundry, and the second you barely touch those stairs,
I know you
Oh,
run
yeah,
up.
upstairs.
Yeah.
Dude, I would do the laundry and there's that light right above like where the laundry shit is. I hit that chain, fucking run to the next chain, hit that chain, fucking run up the stairs.
I think we
that
just
shit.
kept ours
I just
on.
left
Yeah, we
it on,
just
man.
left
I
them
was like,
on.
yeah,
Yeah.
don't need to turn that on.
Yeah, my fucking parents were like cheap. They're like, shut all the lights off. It's too many lights on.
Why do you think that is? Why do we just
I don't know.
Fear
Electric
of the
bill.
dark.
No, it's like when stuff happens, like you either have that mentality of something just happened, or you just kind of brush it off. Like that thing that happened with the camera, we kind of just brushed it off the next day.
I know. Oh yeah, that just started snapping pictures of Dolores. Did you see that?
That thing. That
Right now?
sucked.
No, it was
Yeah.
on 2 episodes ago. I think
Yeah.
it just all of a sudden started snapping pictures. One after it wouldn't stop.
It was right
just
after
kept taking-
Cedal mentioned the ghost that would bother
Bob.
me. What
Yeah.
the fuck? Seriously?
Oh, we didn't set nothing
The
up.
second we
Bad.
said it, the second the second they brought that up, that thing just started snapping pictures, and it was like that camera was fixated on Dolores, and it was just snapping pictures like constantly until he had to go shut it off. It didn't stop.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
That was weird.
But yeah, a place can be oppressed they exercise houses all the time.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I mentioned too is there's a lot more exorcisms happening this year than there has been in the last like decade or so
Yeah,
in the
you were
U.S.
bringing that up.
And the way that they do it is the exorcist is trained to be a skeptic. We've talked about that before. So he's the last one in the room. Who should believe that it's actually a person's possessed or a place is possessed. Is he'll exhaust everything down to the T to make sure that there's no actual explanation for
Right. The
what's
exorcism
happening.
is a last resort.
Yeah, that's the very last thing they do. And now what happens is with Catholic churches and exorcists that operate in the United States, which there's a lot now, is so when somebody self-diagnosed, I heard an exorcist talk about this just recently. When somebody self-diagnoses themselves, usually 90% of the time they're not possessed. They just, because when you are really possessed, you almost deny it. And you do have all these things happening with you, not to the point where it's like you're speaking in different languages and things, which does happen, which you've seen happen. But
Wake up on the ceiling.
why am I up here?
You know, nah.
But
Spider-Manning up the wall.
but self-diagnosing, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And but they'll exhaust, whether that's you have something physical going on with your body, whether you have something mental going on with your body. They'll exhaust those first, and in most cases they'll pay for it, doctor bills and whatnot, just to make sure that when they do conduct an exorcist, that you're not at risk, or they'll make it worse, because they can make it worse. It's possible when they go and try to fix things.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost every exorcist horror movie I've seen, like,
Makes it worse.
yeah, it makes it worse for sure. Somebody dies.
Yeah. Somebody always dies.
Like, oh no, she didn't make it through the exorcism.
Which I just listened to. We were just listening to this last night.
On to the next one.
Yeah,
Is it Annalise?
we'll try next
Yeah.
time.
We're listening to her, the movie that Emily Rose is made out of. We listened to her audio last night.
Oh, that was
Freaking
ugly when she
creepy.
started talking like Hitler's voice or mimicking
Hitler. There's another demon that she talks through, and Satan himself at the end.
Yeah.
That one was wicked at the end.
Yeah, I know. That was ugly. He was like, should we put that in the beginning of this intro? I was like, no. No, I'm tired of hearing that, dude.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just told him that. We'll just sprinkle in some of those.
Did we
EVPs
do
and
that
stuff
in a
with it.
podcast, or did Aaron do that in a song?
I think
can't
so.
remember.
Where you put an intro to an exorcism in
I
it?
think so.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah. Yeah.
And it's fucking... Dude, listening to that, like, made the hairs on my arms stand up and shit. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's why
I don't know how long we've been off topic.
A long
I
time.
know.
No, it all circles around, though. You know
Yeah,
what
I guess
mean?
it does with like a haunting, a
Possessed
place or
house,
possessed.
maybe that's fucking helping cause your sleep paralysis.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. Like if there's something going on in the house that could cause it. And what I was going to bring up before you brought up the whole like grimace shaped, figure
Right.
was it wasn't sleep paralysis, but I did have an incident that happened in the last house we lived in. There was kind of some stuff going on. I remember waking up and kind of feeling like something was there. And I kept my eyes closed for a minute and just kind of like didn't want to open them. And I remember I opened my eyes and what I saw was literally standing right next to the bed. And it was like a hooded figure. It had a hood on and I could see the details on this thing. The hood almost like it was leather, like the hood, the robe. It looked like it was leather, and it had all these weird markings on it, all over it, and and
And I'm hungry. No,
It wasn't even me.
I know. And here it was standing like right on the edge of the bed, and it had its hand out like this, and in its hand was a black snake, and it was like wrapped around its hand, and like it was kind of facing me, and this thing was just standing there like this with that snake, and it caught me off guard. I shut my eyes and I turned my head really quick, and I was sitting up in the bed, and I held my eyes closed, and when I opened my eyes, it was gone. And I turned, I was like, oh my God, I was thinking, what the hell was that? But the second I turned to sit up, there was another one by the doorway. And it was literally looked exactly the same. It didn't have anything in its hand, but it was about this tall. And it had the same type of robe on and everything. And I kind of blinked for a second and kind of backed up, and it was gone. And I started, I better pray for prayer. Blah, blah, blah. I started praying over the house, I got up, I started praying over
tongues right now.
I forgot to pray.
Oh shit!
I started, going around. I started praying for the house and everything. And when I jumped up, I ended up waking up Sarah, and she freaked out. I didn't tell her though. I was having a nightmare. That's all I told her. But I was literally wide awake, because every time like something like this happens, or if I think I might be seeing something, and I feel like maybe I'm dreaming, I'd always pinch myself. And when I sat there with my eyes closed, I could feel everything. So I was wide awake when this whole thing was happening. But it wasn't sleep paralysis, but it happened kind of like that, waking up from a dream, seeing this thing there.
You weren't paralyzed.
No, I was awake.
Weird. I thought you were going to say it had 2 pills in its hand.
Take one, red and blue. Yeah, that was a weird one. But anyway, you had a story, right?
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. About my haunted fucking excursions on the house on Center Street. The house was right across from Bullis. But I used to have crazy things happen there, paranormal stuff. I remember Jessica, like, one of the first weeks she stayed with me over there when we first started going out. She said that she had woke up and couldn't move, and it felt like something was choking her. And I can't remember all the details, but I remember thinking she was full of shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
She's like, the spirits in this house are bad. You know what I mean? And I've had nothing but good experiences with the spirits there, except for the one behind the house where Chuck lived and Aaron lived. But yeah, she said she couldn't move and it was choking her. I used to tell her, I was like, yeah, it's because you're mean to me and Grandma don't like it.
The old lady that lived there before.
Yeah, because the lady that lived there before had died in the house, and one of my buddies, one of the Zink brothers, they had moved into there, and I'd helped them clean all of her stuff out before they moved in. And I actually lived in the basement, but the basement had like a lot of black mold, so it like fucked my lungs up. So I'd go up there and sleep on their couch. And then eventually JD moved to Utah, and then I just kind of took over his room. And then after that, John said I was too naggy, and he moved out. And so I ended up with the apartment to myself. And then I moved like Jacob in, and then later on Aaron. And some other people, Quana covers up, stayed with me for a while. Mm-hmm. I think it was actually when Quana was still living there that happened. And I just chalked it up to bullshit. But I wonder if that was like a sleep paralysis thing now. And I just was like
something was trying to attack her in her sleep.
Yeah. And I was just like, well, fuck,
Hey, what are you going to do?
So mean, like, sucks to be you.
Yeah, sounds like a you problem.
Yeah. I've had nothing but good shit happen here.
That is one of the definitions of sleep paralysis, is having a tightness around your throat too.
Yeah.
Right.
Or having something choke you or sit on your chest.
And that room is the room she died in, was my room.
The old lady?
Yeah. And our bed was in the exact same spot where her bed was.
Oh, man.
Wow.
But I never got any fucked up feelings in that house.
Yeah.
So.
Just the house behind it?
Yeah, that house behind it. There was like even stuff that was happening in the basement. Later on, I had moved out of there. That house was fucked up in the basement. There was black mold down there. I think they ended up cleaning it up. But all of us back in the day, our mattress was on the fucking floor. And you'd be sleeping, you'd feel a spider run across your face. It'd be
gross.
like, oh, fuck. You know what I mean? But later on, my buddy Telvester, he ended up moving down there and had weird experiences too. And apparently somebody like hung themselves in the basement, which I had never known before. And then I remember back in the day when Lena and Kevin lived in that house, that somebody had died in that house too then. Like right before they had moved in. I remember Lydell Nomi, he was so fucking scared to stay in that room that I used to live in, because apparently somebody had died in that room before. And then later on that lady died in there. But I always had like good experiences. I always like felt at home in that place. You know what I mean? Like
They accepted you.
Yeah, me and her were tight. Like I said, there's that time where I had that asthma attack.
Yeah.
And just woke up in the bathroom. Okay, when I had passed out right before I entered the house all the way.
Yeah.
Blacked out, and then came to with a nebulizer machine in the bathroom, which is on the other side of the fucking house. Nobody home. You know, I had to kick the door in to get the door open because my keys were still in my car, and we used to never lock the doors. It was just kind of a weird thing. And then to have Jessica be attacked, I didn't believe it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
That is funny. You kind of put it all together tonight.
Yeah. And you just told us the story outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to tell that story real quick?
Sure.
Bring your mic closer a little bit. There you go. All right.
It sounds so ugly in the headphones. Well, I was telling them that the laundry room at the house, me and Dakota were staying in there, and Cash was like tiny then. And I was laying kind of towards like Dakota, like real close, and there's about this much space by the wall and in between me. And I could hear something like whispering around in the room and walking around the room, and I like kind of tried to look towards it, and then it started crawling real fast on the bed by me.
Yeah.
And I had to like wake myself up, and when I jumped awake, I started screaming and woke up Dakota.
That is gross.
Yeah.
that poor guy.
Always waking him up, freaking out.
You disturbed his sleep. How dare you?
Right. The guy's so chill all the time. He just has to deal with all your paranormal shit.
Oh, shut up. You should hear his stories.
Oh, man. He has some ugly stories,
he?
dude.
We got to get
Yeah.
him on. He's got to
Yeah.
come on and tell a story or two.
Yeah, he's really good at telling stories. man. He has some good ones.
His story, the one I'll have him tell it, but his story about this goat, that one
I hate
was the
that
first story
story.
in years to actually give me chills.
Yeah,
Dude,
when he
I've
told
heard that story.
And it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Were you
He's
here when
gotta-
he told that?
Yeah,
that was
I heard that story.
ugly, dude.
I know, I hate hearing that one.
He's got to come on and tell his story.
I can't remember if it's here when he told it or if you told it to me.
I
but
think
it
he was. I
fucked
think
up.
you were here when he told it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
Might
gross
have been
story. Ugh,
But
Philip.
I think like most of my notes are just searching for the meaning of dreams, and there was parts that I left out too. And I remember going through this, and it has nothing to do with sleep paralysis, but it's just a side thought that I had. And we've always talked about deaths happening with certain things happening, like in culture, whether that's hand games and things, people participating in things like that, or whether there's I guess highly ritualistic dates throughout the year, and you notice that people are passing away a lot. Mm-hmm. And it's always funny because you go through this phase, and we've noticed this growing up, is you go through this phase where just young people are dying. It's always like young kids or mid-aged kids, you know what I mean? Not actually in their like 30s or whatever, but like in their 20s or 18s or teenagers. And we've always tried to tie that in. And I was reading on sleep paralysis today, and I came across a scripture that kind of describes something like that. I was looking also into other cultures and seeing their rendition of it, and that's where I got all the different sleep demons. But there's an actual scripture that points to death in women and children, or loss of women and death of children. And it has to do with spiritual, them looking for, I guess, practicing things like palm reading, or even dream reading is something that can be occultish or negative, like witchcraft or something. And I forgot where it was, but it talks about that there would be a slew of death in I think it was Israel, that when they practice these things, then people in the community start dying as a whole. So when you start stepping into certain, because this is what I'm saying about being careful about these things, especially when you're trying to decipher what a dream means, whether you're trying to decipher what's happening in your life, because we're always trying to search for some sort of meaning. Why did that happen? Like, why is this happening to me? This is like one of the one thing people say when something negative happens. somebody passes away, you just lost your job, something like that, is why is this happening? People are always searching for and trying to connect the dots. And a lot of times they turn to spiritual things, or they try to find their own, I guess, conclusions of things.
Yeah.
And looking into whether you're trying to dream read, and dream reading is actually biblical. There's a way to do it. But there's also this other side of things where you can dream read into like a contemporary type of reading. And those are where it kind of gets murky in the water. And participating in certain things, whether that's trying to induce sleep paralysis or trying to decipher dreams in a way that's not exactly, I guess, good in nature, where you're trying to turn to like magic things, or you're sleeping with crystals, or you're using crystals, things like that, or you're even dream catchers. Well, I love crystals. I mean, using them as their actual effect, but there's actual biblical.
Or like,
There's actually biblical significance to crystals too.
Yeah.
They were used in the tabernacle. There are different crystals assigned to different meanings. God had colors assigned to different meanings too, but he also had crystals that were mentioned in the Bible. I think onyx is one of them. Lapis, amethyst, those all had different meanings in biblical texts. But when you turn to different contemporary things, that's where it kind of gets murky, because you're messing with different things. You actually don't exactly know what you're messing with. Even if you're doing like palm readings and things, you don't know what you're, I guess, joining yourself with to try to find an answer. And then that in and of itself is basically a spirit infiltrating your house, or infiltrating through your dreams to get into your life, because now it has legalities to be there. Just like ghost hunting, that can give a spirit legalities to be in the house, legally in the spiritual.
Yeah.
It has rights to be there, and then they're difficult.
So I said never do that kind of stuff in your own home.
Right. Well, I've always known that, but it's just when it's going into something like this, is what I'm saying is to be careful if you try to induce sleep paralysis, is you don't know exactly what's on the other side.
Yeah, what's waiting for you,
or how severe it could be, or if you fall into that cycle of sleep paralysis and then you have this reoccurring thing, and maybe you do it because you're kind of interested in it, but then things can take a turn, and dreams can have effect on your waking life too, whether that's negative or positive. I mean, I've had dreams that just stuck with me all day. You know what I mean?
You want to hear a story?
Sure.
What the fuck was that about?
Yeah, you just think about it all day long.
We were just kind of talking about something outside too.
What's out?
Like what could be people are hearing. This could be something people are hearing when they hear noises in their house, or music, or in their house, or something like that. Because he brought up something.
Yeah, the other night, me and Jessica were laying in bed, and I could hear music, like soft music playing. And, I asked Jessica, I was like, is your phone running? And I'm like, there's music. She's like, I can hear it too. So I get up to like check out the window, can't hear it no more. But as soon as I lay back down, I could hear it again. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, dude? I can hear music. And my dad had told me back in the day that like the wood in your house could store sounds, and you can hear it later, almost like a residual haunting, but not really. It's like supposed to be scientific or something.
Yeah, we've talked
Like
about
it's
this.
recorded, and it's called stone
recorded.
tape theory.
Yeah, and that does happen.
Right. But yeah, it was happening the other night. Me and Jessica were just like getting like ready for bed, trying to sleep. I could hear music, and she thought she heard like country music. I was thinking like pop. Yeah, I thought it was like, Kesha or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've heard it before in other places, but like I never really put two and two together, because I've always lived in kind of like a loud house. You know what I mean? I used to go to sleep listening to fucking Alice Cooper at night.
I used to go to sleep listening to freaking trivia. Remember that?
Yeah, Trivia's a good one too.
He's over there snoring.
Waves.
Dude, I used to go to sleep with music on until fucking Jessica moved in. Had to have no sound and the lights off.
That's what I do.
Because I
can't
also
have
would
noise.
like watch TV to go to sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was Alethea's issue too. Is she got me doing that for a bit, and it kind of did work for me. And like I went to sleep on time, but I think we've grown up like that. It's like we
With a
need
loud
noise.
house.
Yeah.
I
Dude,
can't.
you
I
can
need
have
silence.
death metal playing at full blast, and I'll fucking sleep like a baby.
Yeah.
So now I, I substitute that with a fan.
My mother-in-law.
He just like
Alethea-
so dad right now.
Right, just dadded it up.
Her name's Stephanie and Ben. Anyways, they took Jasper for a second because we were up in Billings dealing with things, and they said they couldn't get him to relax or go to sleep.
Oh yeah, I remember.
They put on System of a Down. What's it? Toxis. What the hell was it?
Wasn't it Chop Suey?
Chop Suey. He fell right asleep in the back seat.
They were trying to play music and he
Sounds
hated
about right.
it. He was like raging out in the back, and when they turned on Chop Suey, they said he just crashed out.
Like, there we go. Some system to put me down.
Yeah, but I need noise all the time too. I just can't. Like I'm
You're the
listening.
only one that caught that.
I'm listening to music all day long. Like I'll listen to it when I'm working out, or if I'm taking a shower, or just randomly on my phone.
Yeah.
It's all the time, all day.
But yeah, I was telling, like, he brought that up, and it like triggered a memory. It was somebody that we're supposed to have on here, Darren Marlar. He's like, he does all amazing
right.
voiceover work.
Yeah.
He has one of the top podcasts out there.
Mm-hmm.
He's been doing like, radio and stuff like that for a long time. And this
Yeah.
guy's fucking legendary. And I was in contact with him when I was in Vegas, and he was supposed to be on here, but I ended up getting really sick, and we kind of canceled that.
We canceled
that
for,
Halloween season,
like a month or two.
yeah, and but anyway, he told a story on one of his podcasts, Weird Darkness, and he said that these people kept hearing music and stuff in their house. They kept hearing noises in their house, talking in their house, and I think they were redoing this house, and they had the electricity off and everything too, and they'd still hear it sound like it's coming from the other side of the wall in this room. They kept hearing this music. And here they heard Darren Marlar's voice
What the
in
heck?
the wall, like coming through. The sound like it's coming through the wall.
Wow.
And they said this house was. I don't think this house was by anybody else. I think it was like kind of like in the outside of like out of town, and so it couldn't be like somebody like a neighbor or something playing music. But they recognized Darren Marlar's voice, and he looked into this, and it could be radio signals. Actually, can
Reverberate off your
start
wall.
playing
Yeah.
through your walls and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about that. I forgot who we talked about it with.
But now I'm wondering if that's what was happening.
If
in
that's
my
what you were
trailer.
hearing,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
the radio.
So I was like wondering about that, or if it is stone tape theory, like it's something like just the wood and stuff record like and kind of replay it back,
Yeah.
residual haunting.
I've always been interested in that too.
Yeah, but yeah, I wanted to get talk to him again and see if we can get him back or get him on here.
I wanted to get Clyde Lewis on.
Yeah,
I could still.
we had a lineup too, man.
Yeah,
of some really
we could probably
awesome
get him
people
on.
that we're gonna
I'll
have
talk
on.
to them. Yeah, we had Clyde Lewis, Darren Marlar coming on.
And another one of my favorite actors.
Who's that? Oh,
Yeah,
the dude that plays Dwight.
Dwight Schrute.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're gonna get him
The
on.
dude that plays Dwight.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah,
on
but
The
anyway,
Office.
yeah, from The Office. But yeah, he has this character he does. It's so funny, man.
He has a character where he plays the most well-known paranormal investigator in the world, and you get him on the podcast, and he's that character through the whole thing. Like all the questions he answers, it's just hilarious.
That's
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, he does that
That guy's
character.
so fucking funny.
I know. Yeah, Rainn Wilson.
Yeah,
That's who it is.
I forgot
Yeah,
that.
he's so funny.
And Jamie is going to be coming back on the podcast. Jamie Lisseau. He's going to be answering questions, and he is
more
our
questions.
Yeah, he is our resident correspondent, and we're going to get his take and try to get to the bottom of your questions. So if you guys have questions, send that into the website, fallenhour.com, and we'll give it to Jamie.
Yeah, we got to get him back on here. That guy's freaking hilarious.
Guys, ever gonna get Rob Schneider on here?
Rob Schneider.
Oh, you got to reset those.
All right, so you had a story.
Yeah.
Let's hear that story.
Yeah, I had a story. Like I debated on like ever telling the story. Like I debated on it like a while ago because it happened a good while ago, and I just never thought about doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Table farted.
that was is that your phone?
I don't know. Yeah, my security system's on, so it's gonna vibrate the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, but anyway, a while back when we were just moving out of the last place we were staying at, I had a dream, and this dream was kind of weird. This started making me question a lot of different things, because
you know, with the whole
Sexuality.
Yeah. No, I'm talking. I mean, like whether or not you're having a dream when you feel like it's really real, or if it's actual, like what people call astral projection, that kind of thing. It started making me really kind of look into that stuff. I had this dream that I remember right when I fell asleep. Like I opened my eyes, and I was standing on the street outside of this house, and I remember I recognized the house. And I remember I blinked and I was inside this house, and I was standing in a bedroom, and I remember seeing a cousin of ours. He was laying in the bed and his girlfriend was laying next to him. And I remember seeing this other figure standing by them, and it was completely, you know, black, like almost like a shadow, but darker. And there was something standing behind me, and what was standing behind me had a hood on, and he began to talk, and he was saying that they were going to take him. Basically, he was going to kill him. He said he wasn't going to wake up. This is, you know, he's going to die. And I remember like standing there, and this thing was like watching over him, and I remember this thing started choking him, like grabbed him and started choking him, and he started struggling breathing. He couldn't breathe, and his girlfriend woke up because he started kind of like trying to move around. He couldn't breathe. She woke up, and she started trying to wake him up. She started shaking him. You know, you gotta wake up. You know what's wrong? She's like started freaking out, and I remember I started praying for him. You know, I started praying for him right there while this thing was trying to kill him. And the voice that was standing behind me was saying, he was basically trying to like tell me that your prayers aren't strong enough to save him. You know, you're not going to save him. He's going to die, and I'm taking him to hell with me, and that's where he's going to be for all of eternity. He was saying stuff like that, and his voice was just like, man, it just gave me chills. Like, you know, it was like booming. And I remember I didn't, you know, tried to ignore him, and I was praying. And I started praying even louder, and all of a sudden this thing goes back, like it flies back and it dissipates. And this figure standing behind me went back and hit the wall. It hit the wall in the hallway, and it started making its way down the hall. And he jumps up and he turns over and he sees, like, you know, he looks toward the doorway like he thinks somebody's in the house. And this thing hits the wall, goes down the hall, and runs out the back door. And you can hear the back door fly open. And his little brother comes running down the hall, like, you know, what the hell's going on? Because when this thing kind of flew off of our cousin and it disappeared, and the thing behind me, before it hit the wall, it like yelled really loud, and the house shook. The whole house shook. And then that was before it ran down the hall. And he thought somebody was in the house. He got up and started going through the house with his gun because he thought somebody was in his house choking him, and his girlfriend was telling him there was nothing there, that he was just choking in his sleep. And I remember I woke up, and 2 weeks later, this was during the time we were moving into the place we're living in now. Mm-hmm. And I remember I was standing outside the front of the house, and I saw my cousin. He was walking down the road, and he saw me. He's like, oh, hey, you know, what's going on? You know, he's just telling me he's on his way to the store, and he was with his girlfriend. His girlfriend was talking to somebody else back there. And he came up, and then he said, man, he said, about 2 weeks ago, the weirdest thing happened. He said, I was sleeping in my room, and he said, I started choking in my sleep. And he said his girlfriend was trying to wake him up, and he said she was shaking him, but he said he wasn't waking up. He was sweating real bad, and he said, I thought, you know, the way she talked about it, I thought I was going to die. And he said all of a sudden he saw where above his head, where I was standing in my dream, he said he saw a bright light flash. And then he said he heard something hit the hallway wall, and he heard footsteps running down to the hall. And then he said the whole house shook. And then the back door flung open. And he said his little brother came running down the hall, freaking out. And he said, that was 2 weeks ago, And his little brother was so afraid that he doesn't stay in that house anymore. He had moved into the country.
Weird.
And then his girlfriend came up and he's like, tell him what happened. And she told me the exact same story. Literally everything that I saw in my dream happened to a T of what both of them told me. So that always kind of made me wonder, like, if you have like dreams where you are, you know, you do see things, or you feel like you're awake, maybe that's really your spirit going out and doing stuff like that. So like I thought like maybe there's a reason why I went there to pray for him in my dream.
Yeah, possible.
No fucking privacy, dude. Not only do you have shadow demons, but you got Marcus standing over you all the time. God damn it,
I was
dude.
waiting for it.
It's something new to fear when I'm sleeping. This Marcus is breathing real heavy on top of me. I'm just praying for you, bro. Sure.
Go back to bed.
Just go back to bed.
You'll be okay.
You saw nothing. You
That
see
is
a
a
bright
pretty
light.
But yeah, like I like thought about like not even telling her that, because that's like, you know, that's really strange, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a lot that goes into that kind of stuff. And
Yeah,
I
and that'd be a whole other
wasn't sure if I
podcast.
was gonna go into that, because that can trail on into something else.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, well, maybe I'll hold off on that.
We could probably do another podcast about something like that. Things like
Yeah.
that.
I know that reminds me of Grandma's story.
Yeah, that's what came to mind.
Yeah.
And that's when you told that story about when Grandma was sick,
Yeah.
and these people invited him over to their house to go pray over their house, and she stayed home. And Grandpa told her just the whole time he's gone to pray, and don't stop praying till I come home. And he went into this house. They invited him in this house, and he went through the entire house praying over it. And he said that every time they walked out of a room, that guy would hold the door open a little longer and then close it.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the next room, same thing. They'd all come out, and he'd hold the door open a little longer, then close it. And by the time they were done, he was gonna feed them, you know, the family. And he said that they were sitting there, and they had another plate ready. There's like all of the people that were there and him, and then the extra plate. And he asked, you know, who are we waiting for? And he said, your wife. He said, oh, my wife's at home sick. And they told him that she was by his side the entire time he was going through that house praying. But she wasn't there. She was at home praying. So, but they could see her.
That
Yeah.
does happen biblically too.
Yeah.
People are able to jump. There was, I think it was Elijah or somebody. Anyways, they jumped in scripture. Their physical body jumped, not just in their dream.
That's what made me kind of wonder, though, when you said that. I was thinking maybe it was something like that. Like maybe their spirit was the one that kind of jumped.
Yeah. You can, they can be in multiple places if they want it to be. I believe that's how it went. Old prophets.
Yeah.
And well, it's a whole other thing we could get into, but it's a whole subject.
Yeah, that
a
can trail
long
onto
story.
a whole
Not
other
gonna
one.
get into it.
Trail onto a
That
whole
could trail
nother
onto a
podcast.
whole nother segment here.
Right.
So does that do it for you guys?
Yeah.
You guys all spent. Gotta get Dolores Barr.
Quit saying my name like that.
Know what I'm gonna do when we get what's his face? I'm gonna have him introduce her. And Dolores Barr.
Darren Marler. Yeah, his voiceover work is freaking top notch, man. It's amazing.
So we are coming back to once a week podcast. We're gonna have Dolores here more on the podcast. She's gonna be another staple in the podcast, as well as Aaron Martin. We're gonna have more recurring guests come on the podcast. And like I did mention, Jamie Lissa will be back, and he'll be able to answer questions. So if you guys have questions you want Jamie to answer that are unanswered, whether that be paranormal. I think the last ones we did were, what does alien look like?
Yeah.
Things like that.
What is like something about the moon?
Right. Just give us some outrageous questions for Jamie, and he'll do his best to answer your questions. And you can inbox us on Fallen Hour, at Fallen Hour on Facebook. We're also on TikTok and Instagram. You can go to fallenhour.com and submit a form, and that'll go right to my phone, and we can get your email in there. So we're doing once a week, and I'm probably going to put out a lineup, but I want people to write us and tell us what subjects we should cover. Because we've kind of been staying away from contemporary stuff for most of the time we've been doing this podcast.
Yeah, like we got like suggestions for Bigfoot for a long time, and we finally waited till Dad got on to do that.
Yeah.
And, those ones turned out to be one of our best ones.
One of the top
listens
podcasts,
ever.
Yeah, I don't think you guys ever covered jazz or anything.
Jazz.
Contemporary.
Yeah.
He's trying to make a joke.
There it
One more.
That's more like it.
Because I couldn't pronounce contemporary.
That joke almost took off and it just crashed.
I was like,
Jazz, what? Contemporary.
I was like, excuse me?
Oh, that's funny.
So stay on the lookout. Once a week, every Friday, we're going to be releasing an episode. It'll be 6 o'clock on Facebook, 7:30 on YouTube, and also 6 o'clock on all podcasting platforms. We'll be live. If you guys are listening on the go, you can search us up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any podcasting platform you have on your phone, at Fallen Hour Radio. We do have a video version of this podcast available on Spotify and also our website.
And Facebook.
So, now that it ends, I am joined tonight by Marcus with the beats, Aaron Baker with the wheeze, and Dolores Barr. My name is Sid Alinik, and you're listening to Fallen Hour Radio.
Good enough, huh?
Ciao.
Okay, do your finger guns.
I did do the finger.
Say Fallen Hour.